What do companies do whom we normally admire, right? Are innovative. My sense would be they actually take the time to pinpoint or identify the problem. In other words, typically in some companies that, yeah, there is a team leader and he or she says, "Hey, okay, this is the problem, team. Let's brainstorm and start coming up with the ideas." When in fact that that itself needs to be questioned, right? So, what have you seen? I mean, are there companies which do a good job? And what's that process like?
Yeah, there really are. So like I said, there's kind of two steps, getting the right people in the room and following a process, right? And you can make your process as complex or as simple as you want, right? But it's really just about pausing and asking the right questions. And so the process that Ed Barrows, my co-author, and I lined out is sort of what we call D2A2, right? So there's two Ds. One is define the problem, right? Just without a solution in mind, define the problem. Is it a user problem? Is it a process problem? What kind of problem is it? Um, and then to take that problem and decompose it, right? Again, before you've done anything, right? Thomas Vettel-Vettelsberg has done a lot of work on defining a problem. And an example that he uses quite often is uh, tenants in a building come to the owner and say, you have to replace the elevator. It's too slow, right? So let's take that problem and decompose it. Is it the elevator? Right? Is it that the lobby is ugly and people don't like to stand there? Is it that music would keep them entertained? Maybe they hate the high rents and they're just causing trouble, right? So just decompose the problem and really, really brainstorm. Like really just think about this. It's a stupid idea, but I'm just going to put it out there because it might be a part of the problem, right? Just decompose and kind of build out a logic tree that you so often do. Is it the elevator? Is it the building, the tenants, the elevator, the engine, the mirror? And then extending that further. That again, it's really important, Nikhil, that you realize this, you can't slow down problem solving, right? So this doesn't need to take 4 weeks, right? This can take 4 minutes or 4 hours, right? Depending on the nature of the problem, right? So first define it, then decompose it, right? So you're looking at all possible contributors to a problem. Now your minds are a little more open, right? Just to sort of look at elements that you might not have looked at otherwise. And next you do need to do the analysis, right? Now it might be data collection for each of those drivers. It might be as simple as just asking why 5 times, right? Which is a straightforward, just why is this an issue? Why does it matter? Just keep asking why. But you are going to have to do some analysis to say, you know, this is an important factor. This is not an important factor. Great idea, Laura, but no. Right? So depending on the size of the problem, you go out and you do some analysis. But even that has to be scoped, right? Because you don't want to fall into analysis paralysis, right? Where you're just analyzing. And again, you can be an individual sitting at your desk, but it's a lot better if you're working with other people on this because you need people to stretch your thinking a little bit. Then and only then are you ready to sort of focus down on a solution and move out and act. That of course is the last A. But there's something else that matters, and it's important as an individual contributor because the world isn't helping as much on this, which is you really do need other people to help broaden your thinking. So problem solving is too often now because we're so lean. Organizations are so lean that we often sit at our desk alone, right, and try and solve this problem with someone next to us trying to solve their problem. I would say this is one thing that Gen Zers and any individual contributor or even small group manager, you just owe it to yourself to say to someone, hey, can we spend a little time just talking, right? Because somebody else might have a totally different point of view and help stretch your thinking before you jump in and start solving the problem.